Good morning. Okay, what have we got? We can take care of the plats and stuff. Or we can do a discussion on First Street.
Okay, we can put that. So we've got beach corner, division number 1. For plat signing and development agreement.
Who's that?
It is,
It's the last one we did,
yeah,
out on 49.
49.
So we drew that boundary there.
The south of the
Part way.
beach drive.
Yeah.
They're still working on the parcel that's north of the beach drive.
There's a flag. Okay, what else?
We have a conditional acceptance for Freedom Acres Division number 3, phase 1.
It's north of the one we just signed.
Okay.
It's kind of
Well, it's
along
fancy.
the highway.
Fancy titles getting confused.
Okay,
And then the other things we can do First Street and then we go back to it.
okay, what's up?
First Street?
Yeah. We just wanted to have a preliminary discussion about the fact that we are expecting some money from the omnibus spending bill for doing First Street between Ammon and Hit Road and which obviously contains part of the county. So we thought we should talk so we know where we're all at. That's all.
Yeah, congratulations getting that.
Yeah. I don't know when the money is gonna be. We have no clue, but we'd like to think that we could start construction maybe not obviously this coming summer, but maybe the next summer. And this summer, we were hoping that we could get some of the utilities moved so that they were prepared to do that. We're working on getting some more right of way, but once it gets past Tiebreaker Road, it gets a little bit tricky because of the county being obviously we can't do anything at past there. So I don't know what the commissioners have thought about that and if
What did you have in mind? Because you said talking match and things like that, I think in your.
well, yeah, so I don't know the number right off the top of my head, but I think that we were just thinking that a percentage of the road and I don't know if it's 30% or 20%. So if since we all we're required to do a match, and I think our match number is what, Micah?
Well, the total match between, for the entire mile section is 1,400,000. We were awarded 5,800,000 for federal funding. And so the match makes up the rest of the total project, which is just over 7 million. And so that 1,400,000 includes the city portion and the county portion. Most of that is city because there's the First Street Bridge in there. And the bridge is a huge part of the project. It's over $1 million for that bridge. As you guys know, we built one almost identical up on Lincoln. And we'll be actually using some of those same designs. And so the county portion of that match Tracy should be here in a minute. He'll be able to tell us a little bit more about that, is much smaller. Yeah. Yeah, and because we have, our portion of it is from the bridge all the way down to tiebreaker. And so we make up the vast majority of that 1.4 million.
You said 7, I thought the grant was.
It was, no, it was 5.8, and then total with the match would be over 7.
Yeah.
Because
Is that enough to do that project?
we believe so. Yeah.
Is this where we're at? It looks like, is Natalie running?
that's-
Natalie, are you running that? Have you got
It's
that?
me.
So that's.
Oh, you're running it? Oh, I was gonna say, how are you?
That does show the county city
Yep.
divide right
That's a
there,
good map
the
there.
pink,
Good.
pink versus no color, yeah. But it's not, is that the entire?
Yeah.
Should
length?
be,
Yeah, it
yes.
is, that's the entire mile, yeah. Oh, here's
Yeah.
Tracy, yeah,
Yeah, so our portion is from, you can see the bridge on the left, all the way down to tiebreaker where city limits ends. So. we
So
were-
I've got
go
to
ahead.
know exactly, because I'm not sure. So where does it start?
Hand them.
right,
Right,
It's gonna start right here by the, well, it's gonna have to come in down a little bit to
Yeah.
accommodate the bridge.
Okay.
So basically from here, the whole stretch will be designed and now at Ammon Road. And so you can see, here's basically the county's portion from just after tiebreaker to the east, and then Ammon is all the way back here.
I thought there was a strip of Ammon City that came down in behind those
No.
storage units.
no, it ends at tiebreaker there.
Austin, can you drag the zoom window down
This way.
the
just the
little, the
one with our faces?
one on the side, yeah.
Well, that's on the other computer, but yeah.
Oh, you really didn't have it all.
So we've.
Yeah, there you go.
We've secured the right of way on our portion. I would say 95% of it at this point. We need a little slice extra along the Suitors property. Tracy, if you can point that out,
Yeah,
and the Muranos.
yeah, we're requiring a little bit, basically all the way across. It's almost like five more feet here and about 10 more feet through here.
Yeah.
To get us our full.
What about the portion, the city of Idaho Falls? Are they gonna participate?
I've let them know, that, yeah, they need to, they've got about a 2% total of this whole cost.
Cause that'll be redoing that intersection as part of that. A
There'll be,
little bit.
there will be some upgrades, but mostly it's east of that intersection there.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
and what there is because the new bridge is gonna raise it almost about a foot and a half of existing grade, and so they have to come back. Basically rip up the asphalt and make it tie in a lot smoother.
Yeah.
So they're almost coming back 700-800 feet, which is about right in there to start it and ramp it back up to the bridge, the new bridge elevation.
The plans for the project are, what would you say, 95% complete?
Yeah, 95. I've been
Yeah.
waiting to know what funding it was to know how the finished product needed to be.
And that's from it all the way to Ammon, and we've upfronted that cost. Ammon's paid all of that entirely. And that actually was kind of one reason why we got the grant, because we had a project that was shovel ready. And so it's fully designed all the way to Ammon.
So when you come to the county portion of it, for the design to be finalized, how many parcels?
I think I sent this to you, right? You sent this to me. Or you pass that around, I can send it around, but there's 14 parcels on the south side and 7 parcels on the north side that would have to have some more right of way acquired to get to the full 100. I think in some of that, you've only got like 30 feet for north and south of the center line. You've only got like 60 feet of right of way.
We would need to start working on this right away then, right?
Well, and that's why this discussion is happening, is whether, how do you want to proceed on those negotiations? I don't know that you have a right of way negotiator on board. yet.
I don't, because I've been doing it myself for the Ammon side of stuff. And I have Horrocks working on right now, coming up with all of those parcels, even my side and the county's given, here's the description and what we need in that, so.
As a right of way.
That's the right of way plat of what's needed, so as you negotiate. That's what it is. You can see the numbers on there for the north and county portion. They've kind of tallied just a rough estimate. Total acreage that would be acquired on the north and south, and when this was done in 2020, I believe, or 21, it's less than $100,000 worth is what they did, but I don't know, today's dollar.
What is that, Austin? Is that a business there?
Which,
Where,
Right there on the corner.
yeah, that's Country Corner and Country
Oh,
Corner Junior.
North and south, right
Yeah,
after
both
that.
sides.
So and I don't know how accurate that is, but that width shows pretty close to 85.
And it's pretty close. I know what they
So
were
that we
saying that
wouldn't have
average.
to get, well, we have to get 100, right? So we need
100.
probably 15 more, at least through that section.
On which side? On both?
Probably on
Little on
both,
both sides.
7.5. You'd split it.
And then once we get down to this section here,
Yeah,
you're
that's-
gonna have to take a whole, well, you'd have to get more probably on the north side
Yeah,
and then a little bit on the south side.
Especially on the north where it almost reaches the center line of the road.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But those property owners, it shouldn't hurt them much, because that's not usable space to them anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
until. Yeah.
and
Until you say
Buying
you
it,
need it.
you know exactly where we're talking.
Until you say you need it.
Yeah.
it's so valuable.
and then they say they want money. Yep.
And I've been able to mow.
On the south side with those trees.
yeah, you'll have to get that one.
Yeah.
too. We don't have any right through there.
So for this summer, we're just looking at pretty much utility movement and getting all the right of way. Is that right?
That's what I'm working for. I haven't seen anything come down. It's gonna probably come down through ITD, all that money, but I haven't seen anything yet that they've received it and all that. All we know is we've secured it and that, so.
So. Make sure I understand what you're proposing. We throw it all together in one big pot, do it by a percentage.
Yep.
You probably need an MOU up front. So as you start spending money on right of way and we start spending money on right of way, it goes towards the total match.
Absolutely. I think that's what we always kind of intended. The thing is that it's a shared percentage or whatever it
And then
is.
you say it's roughly 20%.
30, it's almost 30, it's like 29%. I just looked at that number, or I kind of split it out, basically just kind of linear foot. And
We have a linear foot of in jurisdiction or up front, because when we did.
in jurisdiction.
Okay, because when we did Sunnyside, the way we did that, realizing that some of our cities don't annex the road, they go up to the edge.
Right.
We just went on what it was. So if it fronts that, it'd be probably, I think I did a quick calculation, it's about 3 or 4% difference.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's the only way we could figure that with Idaho Falls, because,
Yeah.
Bruce Art was there at the time, and, our motivation to get Sunnysiders to get straight shots someplace so they could get to Ammon.
Right.
But Idaho Falls had gone, the numbers were much greater than that, because they would go to the half section line on one, back to one.
Oh,
The majority of it that
Yeah.
fronted along there was still in county jurisdiction.
right. Yeah, I need to find Horrocks. I had them break it out, tell me what the percentages was, and I'm pretty sure they looked at the same thing, basically just looked at this and that piece of paper had it by linear foot, right? So I think they just took, what's a linear foot from here to there, and from here to there, the same thing in that Idaho Falls chunk. So it is kind of broke out again, like, what's the front?
So that's just the frontage, like in terms of the match for the 1.4 million, we've got a larger proportion of that because of the bridge. So you're just talking about linear frontage
Just
for the.
linear
Yeah.
footage, yes, it is linear footage.
Yeah,
Okay, so you're talking, say, $8 million project. Times,
we're hoping it's not that high.
well,
Yeah,
So we secured the funding for 5.83. That was our first initial estimation in 2019-20 when we first started the design.
6 million then. Figured on
Basically.
6 million, so our portion of that would be, depending on the percentage, between 160 and 200,000.
Well, it'd just be a portion of the match.
It would be a
Which is-
portion of
Yeah,
the
the portion of the
a mi-
match.
a million two,
$1,400,000.
a million.
Million four is the match for the
30% of the million.
30, yes.
Yeah.
400,000.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I'm glad we're talking early because we're trying to set out our other projects, because we've got a major commitment
Mhm.
coming on 45th over the next 2 years. And then First Street, now, that was my other question, I was on the intersection. Does our project through the MPO include upgrading the intersection?
It would include upgrading the intersection as what we proposed. Now, that hasn't been accepted into the program yet, but that would be done.
I'm sure you'll have some Ammon members on the MPO to help you.
Are you talking about the Ammon Inverse intersection?
You saw Lance put in a BMPO project for that for this year.
That'd be nice to coordinate those two.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See, because, well, I think they're gonna break ground on that roundabout, you know, first. And start expanding the roundabout, because we built that to add 2 lanes. And once the weather gets nice, they're gonna start going from First Street as far north as we can.
We probably won't touch that intersection until after school is out. We told them that they can't shut down that portion while school is.
We want to make sure it's the first week of school.
That's right. We want to make sure that we close it longer than they did the 17th Street little roundabout.
that's right. That's the one we never stop hearing about, yes.
I was gonna say, we'll publish your phone.
Yeah.
No, it's, so, I mean, it's gonna be a lot of work out there.
So my suggestion with the right of way is as soon as we can get working on it, because if we can acquire the right of way before we actually get the funds and get that rolling, it would make that project way smoother. If we get the funds and then we're trying to buy right of way, it's gonna complicate this process.
Who'd you say, Harper Levitt?
Horrocks Engineering.
Horrocks, yep. And, they're,
They're working on
but are they?
writing all the descriptions. I haven't really talked to them about starting to make contact, and we can, however you want to use it.
It's usually cleaner that way. when
Yeah.
if it gets to litigation.
Yeah.
We tried to have our own guys do it for a while. Ended up right up to the
Stuff.
condemnation phase when it gets complicated.
No, I can absolutely require them to get going on that too. I just didn't know how, that's half the meeting. How did you guys want to handle your stuff? My stuff's been pretty good. I've been making good contact and it's going good and people.
What's your thoughts on the range? Because we usually give like Horrocks a range and said, 10% over whatever the appraise is, just do it. Other than that, come for
So
joint
this-
approval.
within the city, we have an amount that the city council's approved. And so when we approach property owners, we offer them, I'm authorized to offer them $1.14.50 per square foot for the right of way as a beginning place. And we also offer that we'll provide them a tax donation letter at that same amount, $1.14.50 per square foot. And if they don't like that, then we'll say, well, we'll provide you that same letter at the amount that you give us, as long as it's backed up by an appraisal. So,
Yeah, the tax donation would be if they donate it instead of.
and we did about 50% donations to 50% outright purchase.
And that's
Kinda
kind of where I'm
depends on
at right
where it's
now, with what I've been talking about. They've been willing to just donate for a letter or work out, make sure their access
On the
is.
45th East, our right of way costs have been substantially higher than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Shocking.
we might want to consider that donation letter.
It's been
That's something I
effective.
offer
approach.
first. When I go talk to them, I just kind of offer that first, and then if they don't, they ends up then, hey, we would much rather pay for it. Okay, fine, that's.
We based all ours off of the appraisal that was done before the right of way negotiator went to the property.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
And it's entirely up to you. How do you want to do it on the county side? On the city side, that's how we're doing it right now. We've got those few property owners we're still dealing with the 5-foot strip. So we're offering $1.14.5 for a donation letter.
Could you get us a copy of the donation letter? Because I think in the future, on some of these others, it's worth taking a look at.
I'm gonna send that to you or Lance?
Yeah. Or Lance,
Okay, you got it.
yeah, we'd be. I was gonna say we'll run it by legal counsel, but I imagine it's already been reviewed by your legal counsel. So, no, that's kind of a approach we haven't thought about before. I think the one individual was the last holdout, but that might have been a good leverage.
You know, he came in and talked to me after the fact, right, again, this would have been a good conversation 3 months ago, but at this point, I can't have this conversation. with
You
you.
know, I know.
So,
So I saw realtor signs on those north fields. Recently, they look like they're brand new commercial realtor signs. Do you know if you have any indication as to if those are developing soon or not?
Which one is he
I'm talking about the vacant fields that are to the side of the car wash, yeah.
they're already platted lots.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about development.
Mhm. There's like the only area in the county portion that's not developed along First, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything there yet.
Okay.
Is that a problem with that building? You said.
Well, I was just-
Be-
Yeah, I was just roughly measuring from where the right of way is now, at least on the map, to the front of that gas station pump, so it's only about 17 feet. So, but if you go to the other side here, we've got more like 30 feet on the country corner side, so I don't know, we might just have to split that different.
Well, and that comes down to the final design of what Horizon
Yeah.
laid out, if they can shift it just a little bit.
Right, I mean, there's that, and then obviously with your Ammon and the intersection design and what you're trying to do, I mean, it could be this one just saying, we gotta come into here, and then that intersection improvement might give you more time to do whatever you gotta do.
I just think it might be easier to pull that a little bit south, closer to the intersection because of the proximity of the buildings on the north, but I don't know if that's possible or not.
Well, I think they did that with Lennis.
Yeah.
On Sunnyside and Ammon.
They did.
You know, pulled it to the north, get that little jog out just to make it work, which. Bill Manuel argued against it, you know, because he was just a straight line engineer. But it seems to have worked out there, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
It works.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing with that is because you already have the signals in place. That'd be the hard thing trying to adjust it. It was nice out there. There was no signals. You could adjust it, and then we brought the signals in later.
Weren't you talking about we needed to adjust the signals on a
We're
project?
probably gonna end up having to adjust them anyway, yeah,
Because of trying to get a turn lane. or-
because of the extra lane, yeah.
Hmm.
So we're probably gonna end up having to.
I guess that's something. If Horrocks do a live and preliminary stuff while this is all in there, just to get an idea, because you're not that far yet. I mean, you're just saying I gotta, well, you did the
Well-
preliminary thing, right?
Well, I did a preliminary cost, but it's not a design.
Gotcha.
I mean, I put some numbers to it, but our numbers are. You know,
Well, it's one more piece, but I mean, the county's fully in favor of this.
Yeah.
I believe, of course, we want to take advantage of that money. You guys are secure too.
well, and that's a little bit, it comes into play that if the Ammon and First Street signal does go in. Does some of that cost, can some of that be used as match dollars on this project? Because it is gonna affect this same stretch of road.
Possibly. I mean, the match cost is based on the plans we submitted. Did it include any traffic signal upgrades there?
But that's not to say you could have a conversation. I mean,
Yeah,
we got the match money, but obviously as it comes down through and how they distribute it and do that, I mean, it's a question we can ask as soon as the funding starts coming, saying, hey, they got this coming and how, you know.
Yeah.
It's a question to ask. All you can say no, if they don't like it, so.
And I wish we had an answer for if this project was actually gonna get in the program for BMPO.
So I want to address that because this was our third time trying to get federal funding for this project. So on the third time, it was a charm, I guess. And the reason that Congressman Simpson was able to get this into the bill was because BMPO has rejected this project. And, you know, we've tried to get it in, but as you guys know, there's only so much money that can be allocated towards these projects. And it makes it difficult, if not impossible, to do large projects. And so when we were
trying.
yeah, when we were applying for this grant over the last three renditions, what we were telling was this is a regional project. The amount of traffic generated by actual Ammon residents on our portion is pretty small. The amount of traffic generated from county residents on their portion is probably pretty small too, but it's a regional arterial that benefits the entire area here. And so for that reason, they said, yeah, we believe federal funding would make sense in this location.
But don't count on it happening again.
Yeah, right.
You don't think there would be another a Biden push, huh?
I don't know. But
We would take the money.
They're so broke now.
yes,
You just have to close your eyes and worry about these kids paying for it.
Well, they're building some nice new roads in Ukraine.
so we can talk to Scott Hall about putting together an MOU and then big focus should be let's get all that right away. Within the next year, so that we're ready to go in the next 6 months. Yeah.
So would the commissioners direct Horrocks to get an appraiser on board for the county portion?
I think we would like to do that.
That's how you'd like to handle it.
Yeah.
You done.
Is it doesn't cost that much extra to have you gotta have the appraisal if you're going down. Right.
My only concern is why we're paying so much more than Ammon's able to buy right away.
Well, when was the last time we bought right of way? Within the last
Last
year, one.
It was last year.
Small jump.
It's just a negotiation.
We start out at that $1.14.5 because that actually started out as an appraisal. It was from 2020. And it was for a project, actually it was for a parcel that we purchased on First Street, right next to the Baptist church there. And that was the amount the council voted on to authorize me to bring to that property owner. And we've talked about it since then, but the council says, well, it's seeming to work so far, let's not increase it. And it has worked. And
And ours
so-
was based on a commercial real estate appraiser that went out and looked at comps and everything else, and those prices were all over the place, or depending on how big it was, how small it was, what was on it. So there was a few places where we were getting right away for that. Most of the time, the right away was more than that.
I guess I would say, since they're all neighbors here and you're already dealing with them with that, I would hope we would start at the same price.
Well, it depends on if you want to approach it as far as with this letter as all these neighbors, or you go and get an appraisal, a commercial appraisal.
Like we ought to be
Because a
matching
commercial
what
appraisal, we had things that were done in early 2022. And they had to adjust it in late 2022 because the price went up. 2022, I mean, there was a lot of things that happened in 2021, 2022. And even in 2023 now, that those prices went way up in 2022.
Yeah.
But if you were to appraise those same ones today, they will have at least leveled off and maybe gone down.
Most likely, but we don't have any. I don't have any paperwork that says that. I would suggest that they would have leveled off.
Well, not knowing any of the property owners along there, who may have a little better feel, having dealt with a couple of rezones. What are they gonna be like to negotiate with? If you,
I think the homeowners are different than Country Corner and the gas stations. So that's
Country corner gas station stuff, they don't really have any room for expansion anyways, you're not. And the homeowners kind of the same thing in the front lots. None of them have really been too difficult in any of the other reasons.
They all know how bad this upgrade.
Yeah, they all want it.
Yeah,
They all
want
talked
it.
about it in the rezone process when we went through those, so.
Where's that sheet you have that shows how much?
So there's 14 on the top and 7 on the bottom.
Yeah, but how many square feet are you talking about?
I don't know if it's broken down.
26,000 acres. You're talking about 50,000 square feet. So for every dollar of market value, it's another $50,000 on the whole project. Which I'm not sure you're gonna get them at $1.14 like you used to, because it negotiates with before. You know, it's a little different thing. You could show country club those guys the benefit of having that thing finished off, getting in and out of their business and the traffic control. It's hard to show a homeowner that, because all you're doing is put more traffic in front of their property.
Just seems like we ought to be matching whatever animal, because those neighbors are gonna talk. So if we come in high, it's gonna hurt Ammons situation.
So who would do reaching out to Ammon at first, and then adjust if we do?
Would you guys be interested in us contracting with you to take care of those negotiations?
And I think if we're gonna get Horrocks, if we actually get Horrocks to kind of help with this and, because that's what I did with John Adams stuff, when we were doing that in that interior, I have them be the first at bat contacting the homeowners and kind of laying it out, here's what's going on. And I thought that worked really well. I mean, so you could use Horrocks, but give them the direction of what you're,
Okay,
of what you, how you want it laid out.
Yeah.
Say this is what's happened in Ammon, a lot of this is an Ammon project, so we're just explain to the homeowners, that's what they're doing in Ammon.
Yeah.
I just think we need to match.
Yeah.
So we don't hurt you and that we're not paying more than we have to.
I'm guessing you're eventually gonna end up, if they start talking at the $2 to $3 square foot.
Yeah.
In today's market.
But we can tell Horrocks to go ahead and start working on the Bonneville County side too.
Yeah.
If you're good with that.
Yeah, to give us that direction, because like I said, they're already starting to try to work on getting the descriptions and what would have to, so you could take it to them and say, this is what we're asking for. And I think definitely they can get on board and start making contacts with them. Contacts.
It's been effective for us to bring an exhibit that shows what we need, legal description of Horrocks to work on, and a letter that says, we offer to purchase your property for this. If you don't accept this, then you can hire your own appraiser and tell us what your property is really worth, or you can request a donation letter for our amount or your amount. So kind of giving those options, basically telling them, here's the rules.
Right.
That's been very effective. We haven't had a single right-of-way transaction yet that we haven't been able to be successful with that, kind of using that letter. There is one that's a real pain to us right now. We can't get hold of folks, but Tracy's working on it right now. And we should be able to close that out soon too.
Yeah, the problem we had on 45th is the number of, you had a bunch.
We had over 8.
Some of those the reason we were paying more for them is because you're affecting their ability to be buildable lots too, because of how much we had to take and the size it takes them down to. So we had a lot of variables in that project that probably aren't gonna be quite the same case here.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully, yeah.
But you're also, if you're not gonna base it on a commercial appraisal, you're gonna go off of a letter of what's done in Ammon. That hopefully will save you quite a bit of money.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Okay, on the First Street intersection, if you have Horrocks kind of design the traffic signal, part of it, how would that work if you include that in BMPO or BMPO?
So if it goes into the BMPO project, we have to go out for an RFP. And Horrocks certainly could be one that would go after that. But you don't get to just say Horrocks is the one to do it. You have to go out for RFP.
But on the BMPO project, one of your concerns trying to remember, get so many of these going almost. If you put the intersection in with that, it might hurt the block of funding for BMPO. You might have to look at the intersection separately.
So. The project that I put in this year just for the signal. Won't necessarily hurt the other project that we have already in design for Fifth Street.
Okay,
So they all have to work together. So I've got civil sciences on board to do the First Street out further east. And then Horrocks is doing this on the west. So one of those two should have a leg up when it comes to getting a design for the signal. So that's, again, that project may not even make it into the program. So
what would the cost of that project be, you think, intersection?
I think just the intersection project I put together about 1.3 million.
Yeah. Cause you gotta have all new mast arms,
Yeah.
poles, yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of segments our this process along with the other priorities of roads. Just trying to understand the whole picture. Well, I think that's something to start working towards.
So I guess I'm throwing it out there, we already have some curb and gutter. Already in there, right? Well, and around, I mean, I'm just thinking that we could bring First Street, and just tie into that, make sure it ties in. You have your sidewalks and everything on the outside of that, I mean, I don't know how. I don't even know if you can go to those guys and say, give me an easement. Not give me right away, just give me an easement to put a sidewalk on. You know what I mean, and that might prevent having to buy it right away, even if they allow this easement.
But if we get to where the signal is, we're gonna be coming back to it.
Right, I agree with that.
I'd love to get the 100 foot now.
Yeah.
And obviously it should be 110.
Right through your intersection, area, yeah.
But you could do it for 100, right?
So when it comes to the signalized intersection, the BMPO standards is 110. So 5 additional feet to be able to get those masts on with the controllers and stuff still within right of way on the outside. We could shrink it down and maybe not 400 feet. But I think you're still looking at purchasing right of way along this stretch, regardless of what happens.
Because that also takes into account if you want to add a turn lane too, right?
And that's what we're
dedicated, right?
That's what we'll be doing, is having a turn lane.
Yeah.
Which I think you almost have to have on those.
And if, well, the turn lane, the turn movements are one of the reasons why it's at a
Right.
level of service D or F now.
Cause I still, when we come down 7th Street, from Ammon into Idaho Falls. And I know that there's a lot of negotiations to try to get a right turn lane and couldn't get that in their project. And that would be some big.
You mean a hit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that
Tire
tire
place there.
back, so.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a discussion that we had. And council said no.
That could be, I mean, we could, because that's not incorporated into that thing. If you really want to, you could have Horrocks, give that, so if you want to do negotiations now, it's done.
Yeah.
Because you never know when you're gonna get money.
But that's part of the negotiating with those guys is, if we can go a little wider and get a turn lane, and keep them out of your driveway. So people can get in and out of your business easier.
Can you scan out Austin? Scan away from it, get a bigger picture there. A little bigger yet. It's no benefit to you guys to take that, huh?
To just take the whole road. Well, we talked
Well, I'm
about,
not talking about the road. I'm not trying to get out paying our part. I'm just, for our other discussion.
To annex.
Especially
And
over
all
all
of
the
that.
Mobile home estate, you want that, don't you?
No.
I think he's talking right now. North to Bridgewater.
I mean,
I mean, that section in between, you know.
right,
I'm just trying to get you more tax base on. No, honestly, I am.
I
mean, it seems
understand.
To me, like they need to be paying. Ammon taxes.
well, we don't disagree, it's just a matter of, doing it, you know, just,
Seems like
Force
you're a really
annexation.
good negotiator. If you're getting here, I don't know.
Yeah, you have to force annex
Yeah.
every single lot,
yeah,
every property owner.
yeah, and it would be a nightmare.
Looking at the Idaho Falls model that they started very robust and aggressive and just slowly narrowed it down as they're forced annexation work.
Well, I think, yeah, and it's led to the annexation statutes being.
Yeah.
Really hammered, right? So, I mean, if this happened, then you might not have the ability to force annex after that.
Part of that was not doing it consistently.
Yeah.
You know, because it was kind of a pick and choose, and so they had a lot of different examples. Take the legislature, which made it easy to change.
Do you still have your moratorium on annexations over 10?
Yes,
When do you think that'll be lifted? Is that?
we're gonna extend it actually. For another 6 months at least. I mean, I'd say probably only another 6 months. But we probably will be amending it a little bit. It's for residential over 10.
So not commercial.
Not really, no,
Not commercial at all.
no.
Where are they with DEQ and the Irwin?
They're moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
They are in the final process of finalizing their bond consolidation. We're getting the Shelley and
Right. But I mean, as far as
Expansion.
reselling and, you know. Okay. I understand the EQ has some concerns about saying, letting Teddy get it done before. You heard any of that talk?
You know, I had to leave yesterday before DEQ gave their presentation, so I couldn't hear their update.
Yeah, that was a long meeting yesterday. I didn't make it to the DEQ portion either.
Yeah. 'Cause I know DEQ is supposedly coming in saying, we gotta build it before we're gonna allow you to have any conditional.
Yeah.
Comments. I don't know what the outcome of that was.
Hmm.
Brian's home taking care of a sick grandchild, so.
Yeah, I didn't hear that update.
Well, we'll have to find out.
Okay.
Well, thanks.
Do we want to bring this back at some point?
Uh,
Have a powwow meeting?
yeah, get it to. Lance.
Hmm.
David or somebody, and you know, they'll bring it in, we'll see how it works.
How often you guys have the road and bridge meetings?
Pretty much every week.
So every week, okay, so we come back anytime.
Oh, yeah, I think it's important to get the MOU done immediately and signed and agreement, because like I said, really like to get the right of way secured as fast as we can, because,
We gotta do that before we move utilities.
yeah, before we move utility.
Yeah.
Where are we on the other portion of First Street, not the intersection, but
So they have not been moving very fast on the design. Just because they've been doing construction inspection for a lot of bridges that are being done right now.
okay, but it's as far as schedule of BMPO.
So the First Street and schedule of BMPO is already in the system. We've got civil science on board, and they have marching orders to go forth and do the design of it. They just haven't been very fast at it.
So when's it due? And the final design and all that.
Probably early 2024 right now.
What do you expect?
Well, best case scenario is we can get utilities moved and potentially the bridge down in the fall time when the water's out. And construction next summer. if when the fund becomes available, that's what I've been waiting to hear.
Summer 24.
Summer 24.
So roughly the same.
As the intersection.
Well, so our design, but not
Roughly the
construction.
same as track, but we had the design, I'm saying, so that we could make sure that.
Well, the design, again, it doesn't quite
Yeah,
cover
that's
the
true, 'cause we've
intersection.
got the
like
intersection
that
there.
Portion, that's a different design. So,
I'm sure every Hill Rocks, the people is very, because they have some, so I'll talk to them, say, hey, we just go, just really roughly throw what this would look like.
That would be nice to have that done.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the BMPO constraints, but it really would be nice. to
Well, you
have done.
scored it perfect.
Yeah, I'm
Still
feeling,
5 years.
I'm feeling pretty
By the time you get
optimistic
it in
about
there,
it.
it's still,
but-
it's gonna get designed right away. Still. Anyways, so.
If you want me to.
Yeah, I think we know what we're doing here.
It's a good start for any day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks
Thank
for
you for
getting
having us.
yeah.